Oh, fuck, I'll get right into it then, I guess. I hope the sound's working now. I'm just going to double check that, right? I'll pause it in a moment. I'll pause it, mute it, just double check it's sounding great, you know, like that. I fucking hate OBS. It's rubbish. Aye. Well, hello again and welcome in to Entertainment News. This is the second time I've said this today. I'm here to discuss. I mean, you've seen, if you were in before, about 10-20 minutes ago, you'd have seen what I'm in here to discuss. But I'm going to shake up this time, just to be a contrarian and do something a bit different here. I'm going to discuss this first, not this. This. I'm going to discuss that. Yeah, that's the one I'm going to discuss. I'm going to discuss this first before I go in to the headline of the show, which, I mean, I've just spoke about for 20 minutes. I don't know if I've got the energy, the desire to get back in and speak about the Marvels again, flopping on a critical level. So I'm going to start with this. Hello, Matty Boy. Hello, everybody. Top Cat. I watched Top Cat as a kid. That was the one with the cats buying the homes in the bins, if I remember correctly. You had the police officer chasing them away. Well, I digress. Get the nonsense out of my system. Rockstar finally announced a GTA 6 trailer. I'm going to speak about this first. Regain my mojo for the Marvels. The fuck is going on here? Honestly, what is going on here? Rockstar has finally announced a trailer for GTA 6. They have not announced it coming out anytime soon. How are you feeling? I'm feeling fantastic, Matty Boy. Absolutely fucking amazing. And you know what? I'm doing better in this intro than in the last intro that nobody could hear, because I just sneezed before and I went off in a fucking monologue about how I'm always sounding ill, always sounding bunged up, like I've got a head cold every time I go in front of the camera. It's gone now. 20 minutes of speaking a load of piss about the Marvels has cleared the nose up, so that's good. No way. Rockstar Games has announced. Sam Houser of Rockstar Games fame has announced next month. I'll just read the words. I'll bring it up on the screen just now. Next month marks the 25th anniversary of Rockstar Games. Thanks to the incredible support of our players worldwide, we have had the opportunity to create games we are truly passionate about. Without you, none of this would be possible. And we are so grateful to all of you for sharing this journey with us and your money on 5 different iterations of GTA 5, not to mention all of the DLC for GTA Online, you robbing bastards. In 1998, in Dundee, I think they've got a headquarters in Edinburgh as well. We call it Edinburgh, but I know people in the United States like to say all manner of bastardised pronunciations. Edinburgh and Edinburgh. Just Edinburgh. Rockstar Games was founded on the idea that video games could come to be as essential to culture as any other form of entertainment, and we hope that we have created games you love in our efforts to be part of that evolution. Incidentally, just threw this in as a little PS. We are very excited to let you know that in early December we will release the first trailer for the next Grand Theft Auto. Big fucking news, man. Broken records already. I'm going to get the intro again. Fucking shambles, honestly. Broken records already. Trailer's not even out yet. Coming out in a month, roughly. Records are being broken, and I think this is going to be symbolic of just how big this game's going to be. You see releases of Spider-Man 2 coming out in PS5. You see the likes of fucking, what is it called? I've forgot the name already. I've got it down here. Starfield. Big game releases coming out. Alan Wake 2. A Robocop game came out the other day. I quite like the look of that. That was bringing up nostalgic vibes. These are big releases. They're big cultural moments. But it feels like GTA, when a new GTA comes out, it is a fucking JFK assassination moment. People remember where they were when the game released and they first got to get their hands on it. And it's going to be different this time. When this finally comes out, I presume next year, maybe Q4 of next year, something like that, maybe late summer. I'm hoping it comes out next year. Hopefully this isn't a teaser that tells us it's not coming out in 2026 or something. That'd be terrible. And we get more years of GTA Online. Bollocks. I mean, it's good, but it's had its shelf life. It's time to move on to a new video game. It's going to be different this time because you're not going to have the queues. I mean, I'm sure some people will still queue up in stores to get the games, the actual hard copy. But now it's just digital. You literally just download it. You preload it on your console or on your PC and you're playing it when it releases. Midnight, whatever time it is, usually in the United Kingdom. It's like fucking 6 in the morning to facilitate the east and the west coast of the United States. So it's going to be a different experience. It's going to be a digital Rockstar release for me anyway. But my God, this is going to be momentous. Just getting to see the very first moments. I remember GTA 5 when the trailer dropped for that. You got to see Franklin and people like that for the first time. The bikes, I think, were a thing. I think they may have been in fucking the previous one as well, to be fair, but San Andreas. But it's always a moment when you get to see the city for the first time. You get to see the scale. You get to see the protagonist, the vibe. I think this is going to be set in Vice City. Talk of a female lead character amongst many others. Really looking fucking forward to it, man. Really buzzing for this trailer. It's been a good end to this year. Beatles tracks dropping. A whole new albums getting remastered. Different mixes of songs I've listened to fucking hundreds of times. Going to be a really good end to the year, man. We're getting to see a first look at GTA 6. It feels like an eternity. I just hope my heart of hearts this is going to be like a combination, an acquiescing, if you like, of GTA in its form and what they have learnt and produced in the magical Red Dead Redemption 2. I hope we get to see those story elements of the little detailed world building and world moments, if you like, where people are eating food off the plate, they're building things. How fucking amazing would it be to do a story mode in GTA? They're constructing a building and it's not unfinished at the end. They've actually finished building the fucking thing and you can see it getting built bit by bit. They did that in Red Dead with the rail tracks. So I want to see them taking elements from these games, learning from other successful games over the last 6, 7, 10 years, whatever that is. Fuck, it's been an eternity. I've lost the plot really with it. And combining all that and giving us something special. Because if there's one thing Rockstar do, it's like genre and not generation, but I would say generation, but just it's like defining games. They produce excellence that has reverberations for all the other studios and rival games. They shake fucking things up with the incredible detail, the music, the soundtrack, the acting, everything. And then the online element as well. Want that going up a level. More interaction with buildings, more internal stuff going on. Not get husks of buildings. Really buzzing for it, man. Really looking forward to this trailer. Cannot wait to see how good this game is truly going to be. I'm sure it's going to be fucking special. Hopefully pushing the absolute envelope in terms of performance as well. Because Lord knows, if I have to go and spend another fucking £700-800 on a graphics card, I will fucking do it. And I'll not bat an eyelid. Crossplay as well. Because I want to be able to play this with Stephen online. And I can't do that with Red Dead for some reason. I want to be able to play it on PC. I'm literally playing games through Game Pass. Why can't I fucking play someone on the Xbox Series X? That's a nonsense. Or even PS5. Hackers, that's probably why. But I digress. Looking forward to it, man. Going to move on to the headline now, though. I spoke about it for about 20 minutes prior. And then I get cut down in my prime, if you'd like. This show's going to be shorter, incidentally. It is 11:45. at night here. I've walked my dog already. That's why I was late to begin with, because he was ripping the absolute fucking entrails out of a 20-minute walk, and it became a half an hour walk. I was having to drag him along the road, and he's a 7-stone Labrador. He's a 44 kilo beast, a big muscly monster. I mean, he doesn't want to go somewhere. It takes an enormous amount of strength and persuasion to make him go. Thankfully, I have both. So I did get him going, but I was late. I digress. The Marvels barely hits fresh rating. What does that mean? Well, I'm about to tell you. Initially, again, I'm using the partridge pronunciation. This piece of information dropped. The Marvels arrives as the third worst reviewed MCU movie ever. This was yesterday, circa 12:52 p.m. Eastern time yesterday, which is probably about 7 o'clock our time, 6 o'clock UK time, that is. Don't want to assume that the world begins and ends in the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, but of course it does for me, because that's where I stay. And fuck everyone else. Me, myself and I, selfish bastard that I'm joking. 12:52 Eastern time, this information dropped, and at that point it was 68 reviews deep on Rotten Tomatoes, and it had a Rotten Tomato rating. It had a tomato meter rating of 53%, which meant it was rotten at that point. As of Paul Tassi from Forbes reporting that information, it was a rotten movie. I think it was only the second or third ever rotten rated Marvel Cinematic Universe movie outside of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, I believe, and indeed the Marvels, not the Marvels, the Eternals. I can't believe Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness wasn't rated rotten. Surely it was. An utterly appalling film, all things considered. Really, really poor. Never been that disappointed in a movie ever. Well, I have Phoenix Forgotten, which you can find my review for on movieburnerentertainment.org. Please go along and read it if you want to laugh on the reasons not to watch a found footage film about an alien abduction story, because it is fucking terrible, man, let me tell you. But as of now, the score has went up a bit. As you can see here, it's went up a couple of percentiles, went up for 8%, and it's now rated fresh. So that's why I says, long story short, barely gets rated fresh. It's now 179 reviews deep. Let's see if there's been more added. A couple have been added. 61% rated fresh. Now, as I did say before, no one heard me because I was speaking to myself, which I usually do. I'm used to that on here, to be fair. Forbes did an article regarding the trend recently of movie critics, and I'm going to get into it. Maybe rating Marvel movies to a higher bar, if you like, than previously. They're struggling to get the ratings that previous movies got. Is this an indication of the Marvel films being of a poorer standard? Almost certainly they are. They're not what they were 10 years ago. That's an absolute fact. It's fucking indisputable. Indisputable. I don't know. English. I'm very good at it. I done very well at it in school. I don't know why I can't differentiate between indisputable and undisputable. Doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. Or potentially is an indication that there is fatigue, not even within the actual greater movie-going audience, but the critiques themselves. Are they just bored of these kind of films, and they're having little sly jabs and digs at them and rating them a little bit unfairly? We've seen this with Five Nights at Freddy's. Poor ratings from the critics, and the movie-going audience, the plebeians, loved it, and it's making huge money. What I'm saying in a sense is this is not an indicator of this movie's performance at the box office. This is not an indicator on how this movie is going to resonate with the sort of average man and woman and child in the street. They may love this film. Some people love this film on the critic side of things. 61% of the critics love this film or have rated it fresh. They like it. Maybe love's too strong a word. 39% don't like it. So it's still firmly, the tables are firmly stacked. Is that right? Tables? I don't know. The cards are stacked in favour of this being an okay film, if slightly underwhelming. Well, I did a bit on this, man. The director was out speaking about it. I'm slightly disappointed the movie's maybe not resonating as well as I thought it would. I enjoyed the trailer a lot. I watched it, really liked it. Liked the vibe of it, liked the energy between the three leads. Even liked the way they were utilising Nick Fury to a degree. More so though, I liked the 1 hour 45-minute running time. I thought that was a ballsy decision by Nia DaCosta. As you can see there, she does get into the running time. Why she doesn't feel it's necessary for a film to go over 2 hours. And I respected the fuck out of that. I thought that was a really brave decision, telling your story the way you want to tell it in the time frame you want to tell it within. I like short movies. I don't think every movie has to be 2.5, 3 hours long. George Lucas infamously tried to go for the Shangri-La of a 2 hour long Star Wars movie. He never could accomplish it. But I respect directors who can get in and out in a succinct manner and hopefully tell a good story. That's up in the air just now, whether she's accomplished the second part, but she's certainly get in and out in quick fashion. Some of the reviews though, there's some positive, there's some negative. New York Times, Manohla Dargis, will start off with a Debbie Downer. It's almost as if the suits at Marvel Studios know it doesn't matter if their movies are any good. Well, it does, Manohla, because they're on a bit of a bad run just now. Don't know how you, I mean, you write for the New York Times. I presume you're well connected in the movie industry. Bob Iger's been out speaking about how he's fucking he's losing sleep. He's up at night worrying about the lack of box office hits. He's worrying about the performance of Disney projects, releases. So it clearly does matter. They don't want to release bad movies. That's a disaster for Marvel. Because eventually, if you keep releasing lemon after lemon after lemon, people lose trust. They lose faith in what you're trying to achieve. And then ultimately it becomes even more difficult, even if you're releasing good movies again, to get them back on board. We've seen this with Star Wars, the TV shows. People were disappointed with the way certain things were being handled. And it was affecting an incredible show like Andor. No one wanted to watch Andor outside of the hardcore element because of Book of Boba Fett and a myriad of shit getting released. And it was fucking outstanding. And it took a while, but I think people are now on board for Andor. So that's the dangers, the pitfalls of releasing poor films and TV shows, because you erode into the goodwill of the paying customer. Helen O'Hara, though, she's rated it fresh. Empire Magazine. It might not have the overwhelming impact of an Endgame or even a Guardians 3, but this is the MCU back on fast, funny form. I liked the trailer. I think I might like this film. I'm not convinced I will hate this film. I think I will quite like this film if I can be asked to go and watch it, which is a whole other thing. I've got fatigue. I can't remember the last time I actually went and seen a Marvel film in the theatres. It's fucking shocking. I never used to miss a Marvel film. I was in every single theatre. Incidentally, we got a comment the other day about me having this shield behind me. You're a grown man and all this nonsense. That guy can go and fuck himself. I'll tell you that right now. I hope he's watching this. I want to hang a fucking dildo from the end of Lock, Stock, 2 Smoking Barrels behind me in the wall. I'll do it, bitch. I don't need your fucking authorisation. You can go and swing off of my you-know-what. Fucking come into our comments and chat shit like that, mate. I will fucking take you down. I will take you down. You bitch. I will find you. That's Liam Neeson. Just want to stress in case any community strikes to try to come in and take my words at face value, you know. Kirsty Puchko, though, Mashable. The Marvels is a rocky ride. It feels crowded by MCU compromises, which undermines the star power of its cast and the talents of its director. This is another issue we've had in recent times with Marvel films. They are paralysed, absolutely paralysed with trying to interconnect things, make everything stick, building to a greater story. And they're just not doing the fundamentals of filmmaking correctly. They're not making good, self-contained stories and then doing the connecting afterwards like they used to do back in the day. Tell a good story, make a good film, make the characters interesting, create a good foundation for an ensemble release in 2-3 years' time, and worry about the connecting afterwards. They've just not got it right this phase for me. They're trying too hard, and it's palpable when you actually watch the movies. You can see it. John Roca, a guy I respect a lot for his film reviews, knows his shit. The Marvels is just okay. It pretends to be about so much more, but it's an uneven script, unmemorable villain, rushed resolutions and wild swings exposes it in the end. The three lead actresses have great chemistry, but it's not enough to save this movie. That's a shame. I'll finish with a positive one. We'll go Flick Direct. Despite its impressive stunt choreography and the marvels, the film grapples with significant shortcomings that stunt work alone cannot overshadow. Again, I says I discussed this briefly. Is there a pattern in amongst these sort of film critiques in that they are becoming exhausted with Marvel movies, and as a result they're rating them much lower. They're setting the bar for a good score on Rotten Tomatoes and indeed in their own review scales much higher than what they did 10 years ago. Will you look at the the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 releases, 16% from a 16% gap between the audience and the critics, 80%, 96%. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, audience loved it, critics not so much, 36%. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, I really enjoyed that film. Not a huge gap, to be fair. Critics pretty positive in the main. Thor: Love and Thunder, critics 63%, 77% for the audience, 14%, and on and on and on we go. You can see there is a trend there where they're maybe rating some of them a little bit lower, but I'm not seeing enough of a correlation there to suggest there's fatigue. I'm just seeing a correlation suggesting that they're rating shite movies or poorer movies shite or poor, which is fair. Black Widow got a decent rating, I quite liked it. Shang-Chi got a good rating, I fucking love Shang-Chi. Samuel Liu was incredible. The father figure as the villain was unbelievable. The blends of Far East Asian sort of mythology and visuals and soundtrack with Western audience and the Western elements, I fucking really enjoyed it. Really good story. Spider-Man No Way Home was unbelievable. One of the best Marvel movies ever released, and that reflects in the score. Terrible film. For me, didn't enjoy it. I think the critics were more positive than I was. The audience must have been smoking an enormous joint, because that is crazy. Thor: Love and Thunder didn't like it. I think that's fair. So no, I don't think there's a correlation. I don't think there is superhero fatigue in the sort of critical spheres. I just think they're being fair in their estimations of these films. And the Marvels, if that is indeed something we're seeing, there is a continual fair rating from the critical side, and maybe the fanboy element in the audience just can't accept it and they're overrating it, then we can see here that we'll probably get an average, if not slightly underwhelming experience with the Marvels, but not necessarily fucking god awful. It's maybe watchable in the house on a streaming service. Just don't spend £15 going to an IMAX to watch it. Marvels looks utter dung, an absolute non-sausage fest. Well, your words, not mine, Top Cat. It's funny you say that though. I was going to speak about this yesterday, and it was the reactions, not the reviews. And they were all waxing lyrical, creaming themselves over the film, saying it was outstanding, it was amazing, it was this, it was that. And I did think, these are all these sort of hardcore liberal, fringe left elements. I mean, I'm a left winger myself, but I'm not an extremist, who see it's a female director, an all-female sort of ensemble cast, if you'd like, and they're just refusing point blank to criticise it. And it's kind of transpired that that is indeed the case. So hell slap it into them. Wait, I'm going to finish the show on this. This is going to be very quick, because time is going on here. I was going to speak about John Wick getting an anime TV show, but see, to be honest with you, I'll probably not watch it. I've not watched any anime yet. If anything was going to get me into anime, it would probably be John Wick, to be fair. It was an interesting discussion from one of the producers, the figures connected to the franchise, speaking about where they can go moving forward. It would be a new chapter. It wouldn't be 3 months on from John Wick Chapter 4. We'd be seeing an evolution of a story, an evolution of a timeline. And look, I'm all for more John Wick movies. I love them. We had people taking pot shots at John Wick 4. I thought it was sublime. Some of the best cinematography you'll ever see. The top-down shots in the building, the stuff on the staircase in Paris, the stuff in the German nightclub, just the Arc de Triomphe scene with him in the car, the door blowing out, just up to game in terms of action choreography. If you're looking for anything more than gun-touting and mass bodies from a John Wick movie, if you're looking for Oscar-baiting human condition stuff, you're looking at the wrong fucking franchise, man. If you go in expecting what you're going to get, then you'll not be disappointed. What you're going to get is lots of bodies. Keanu Reeves rocking a fucking unbelievable Italian tailored suit and just looking cool as hell with it. Go in with that and you'll get everything you need out of the movie. Mal Evans though, found this intriguing. Big man there in the background, big Mal Evans, assistant, sort of driver, roadie, ever-present figure in the Beatles' entire existence as a band. Amongst many others, the likes of Neil Aspinall and guys like that, who'd been around the fringes of the Beatles from the very get-go, were quite influential in getting them the whole manner of different things, picking up guitars. I think it may even have been, I think it was maybe, I don't know who actually went and got the two baby blue Fender Stratocasters during the recording of River Soul. It may have been Big Mal Evans. I know for a fact George Martin did a deal with Lennon, I think, and Harrison. If they could get two perfectly matching guitars of the same colour and body model, he would cover it. And he did. So I don't know if it was a big man, but I digress. The fun, his diary, I want to say it is, going way back to the 1960s, the very, very early days of his interactions with the Beatles, all the way through, and they've adapted it into a book. And I'm all for this, man. I'm all for any Beatles content, really. I love reading about the Beatles. I've never read a book quicker than, it's not about the Beatles, but the John Lennon double fantasy sessions. Stephen gave me it around. I read it in about a day. Quickest I've read a book ever. I've read the Paul McCartney autobiography. I've read a Lennon autobiography. I've read so many books about these unbelievable human beings, this incredible band. And this would be a completely different sort of perspective entirely. Mal Evans, big gentle giant, an utterly tragic figure. What happened to that guy was terrible, shocking, and maybe symptomatic of not having the Beatles in his day-to-day life, which is even more tragic. So a hugely well-loved figure in the Beatle fandom, big Mal Evans. Also get involved in songs as well. Played the piano, one of the piano notes, did the countdown in A Day in the Life. Played the hammer part in Maxwell's Silver Hammer, I want to say. So great to see that they've unearthed this guy's memoirs. They do say it's mundane at times, but it's also fascinating, its mundanity, because you're getting to see these guys and it's peeling back the sort of mythological status of Beatlemania, what it was like being inside that tornado, because these guys were in it. They were in the eye of the hurricane as well. And as you can see here, I'm not going to read too much about it, but he became intoxicated. Womack puts it, within a year he was moonlighting as the club's bouncer year after year, quite a respectable day job to drive the group on tour across the country. When Beatles Mania sent them around the world, Evans followed, carrying guitars and amplifiers. As you can see here, you're getting an insight into the day, one particularly memorable day, August 1969. I presume this was the Abbey Road photo shoot day. I just love this, man. I want to see this transcripted, put into just word for word form. I'll read all of his diaries. This is fucking great. Paul Linda's lunch, it was very nice. Went to lunch with Paul. I love this. I love this, man. This is really, I don't know, man. It's really cool. It's a new story in connection to the Beatles. It's never been seen before. So, yeah, man. Yeah, I'm fucking looking forward to it. Really looking forward to reading that, and when it comes out, enjoying Big Mal Evans one more time. That was a bit weird what I said there. Enjoying his insight into the Beatles one more time, enjoying his presence in and amongst the Beatles. One of my favourite things from the Get Back documentary was seeing the likes of Mal Evans in there, capturing their presence in the studio. It wasn't just about the actual band members, it's about the peripheral figures. I've read every fucking thing you can possibly read about this band. I know everybody. Everybody, man. I might fuck their names up at times, but I know everybody connected to the Beatles. So getting to see them, getting to hear their thoughts, getting to see their insight is absolutely fascinating to me. It might not be to other people, but it is to me. I was going to speak about this briefly as well. We've got the Red and Blue albums coming out tomorrow, and I'm absolutely buzzing for it. I've watched reviews. I've listened to one of the songs that's already been remastered, Love Me Do, and I have to say the job that Giles is doing, along with, I believe, the MAL technology through Peter Jackson, separating all these vocal and instrumental tracks, sometimes most of the time from mono early day releases, and turning them into really vibrant and authentic stereo sort of performances. The way they'd have sounded in the studio if you were there with the band themselves. It's absolutely incredible, the work he's doing. And as he does say, he says at one point here, it's a full interview, I'm not going to read the whole fucking interview, that'd be tedious, man. But he does say at one point why it's so fascinating, and I absolutely agree about what he says. He said something about, yeah, I mean, there you go. No, is it this? It's not. There's something he says where he essentially alludes to these tracks having been enjoyed and loved for generations, people really becoming one with them, but they've not heard these mixes. These are entirely different entities. What he's produced, what he has given to us. There you go, it's this here. Thought this was absolutely fascinating. Similar technology, certain things I couldn't have done many, or maybe even 6 months ago, that we can now. I thought the work that was done on the Red album, the songs there, Twist and Shout, I Want to Hold Your Hand, A Hard Day's Night, Day Tripper, sounds really punchy now. What's great about this is they don't sound punchy because we are adding anything. I'm not adding anything that wasn't there. It's just you can hear the band. It sounds like a bunch of 20-year-old kids playing. We've heard these records before, but people haven't heard these records before. You know what I mean? I found that more exciting than Now and Then, in all honesty. And look, I've went full 360 on this because initially I wasn't interested in the Red and Blue albums. I found them to be boring. I'd never owned them. I've got the full 2009 release. I've got all of the soul stuff from Lennon. I've got all the soul stuff. I've got everything on fucking Apple Music now anyway. But I never owned the Red and Blue albums because I'd heard them in the number 1 release. I'd heard them on the Love album. I've heard them time and again. I've heard all the outtakes. It never really enamoured me, infused me, if you like, the thought of going and listening to it. But then I realised I was an absolute fool. And what we were getting here was Giles Martin re-releasing these things, 2023 mixes, vibrant, best clarity you've ever heard in your life, taking mono releases and turning them into stereo. And we've already experienced that for good and bad with the remasters of the mid to early or mid to late day albums. So it's going to be fucking epic tomorrow again. I alluded to this earlier on, man. It's a really good end to the year what we're getting all of these releases. Never thought this last year when around about Christmas I was watching Get Back and thinking this is the last Beatles thing we're ever going to get. Never in a million years did I think a year later we'd have a new Beatles fucking song out and we'd have remastered early stuff coming out as a nice little surprise. I thought we'd be 10 years away, 5 years away. Hell, we're only on to Rubber Soldiers now in terms of the remastering process. I didn't think we'd get the early releases, likes of Twist and Shout and This Boy, for so much longer. So it's came along, it's a nice little surprise. I'm buzzing for it tomorrow. Camera's away, incidentally. I don't know what's happened there. There's my dog. There's my dog. He's better looking than me anyway. That's a nice way to end it, really, isn't it? There's my dog giving his opinion on the Beatles. He's far better looking than me. I think most people will agree with that. Just look at him. Incredible animal. Really is the best way to end, isn't it? Big, narrow-snouted, floppy-eared, Harley-Pally, pudding and pies, we call him. And that, you will get a full idea of just how powerful this animal actually fucking is, incidentally. An absolute monstrosity. I digress, let's go round it up, man. What's your thoughts on the topics I touched upon? It's fucking mad. This is fucking demonic. Oh, I'm speaking. I've got a dog. Oh, a dog in front of me. This is fucking mad. I just wish I had AI at my fingertips and I could move the mouth. Imagine animating his mouth and it's me speaking. Share your thoughts down below about the topics I've touched upon. Like the video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel. This is what you'll get. You'll get dogs speaking to you, man. Notifications button to get notifications straight to your eyeballs. Do the same thing over on Twitch. Follow button, notifications button over there. Like the podcast and Spotify podcast follows over there. All that's left to be said is until next time, I am done though. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the comments and bye-bye.